Doping is arguably the most controversial issue in modern athletics, widely considered to be a direct attack on the fairness and integrity of sport.
A doping scandal surrounding Chinese Olympic swimmers is heating up.
There are people who are still testing positive that are still having the opportunity to compete internationally.
But what if there was a new kind of competition where doping was encouraged instead of frowned upon? That's the premise of the 2025 Enhanced Games, a modern reinvention of the Olympics where athletes will be allowed to take select performance-enhancing drugs openly and honestly. But why would anyone, especially elite athletes, risk their reputation and potentially their health to compete in these games? We sat down with James Magnussen, retired Australian swimmer who competed in the 2012 and 2016 Olympics, and who was the first athlete to publicly announce their participation in the Enhanced Games.
The initial thought was all around reputation, because anybody that takes that first step in a new sport, a disruptor in a market, is going to face reputational challenges. When people take the time to think about it more deeply, to think about that industry, none of these things that we'll be using or that are recommended are trial substances that were created to make superhuman beings for elite sport. They were created by medical professionals, they've been tested, they've been used thoroughly. But I think most people at some stage have had a conversation with their friends. Imagine if Usain Bolt could take performance-enhancing drugs. Imagine if Michael Phelps, what would sport look like? How fast could we be? How high could we jump? How far could we throw? And so I think that's almost broken the ice for most people of this as a concept or a theory, because we have all spoken about it before, so it's a little less jarring.
Despite concerns being raised by sports ethicists and medical professionals, advocates of the Enhanced Games argue that it will be the first truly fair competition in decades, citing a 2011 study which found that 43.6% of elite athletes had used banned supplements in the past year, something they wouldn't have to hide at the Enhanced Games.
Olympic sports has had a long and decorated history with performance-enhancing drugs. At any given point, at any given time, there are people trying to get an advantage over their competition. As an athlete, you block that out, you ignore it, and you do your best. But this may be the first time there's ever been a truly level playing field in international sport. If the reason that athletes are doping and cheating and trying to beat the system is for monetary gain and fame and glory, then come across to the Enhanced Games and race on a level playing field. And maybe it cleans up the Olympics. Maybe they become two separate products in their own right. One has history and culture, and the other one is this exciting modern product is almost in a different market. I think over time the Olympics may change their perspective on the Enhanced Games. I think the two can coexist and actually increase each other.
In terms of who we might see compete at the Enhanced Games, Magnussen anticipates that it will primarily attract veteran athletes like himself who are looking for a second run at success.
I'm 33 years old and I couldn't make a comeback as a clean athlete because of the rigours of elite sport, the toll that's taken on my body over the years, just the vitality that's needed to be a professional athlete, particularly in a sport like swimming where it's pure physical. And therefore it has historically been a young man's sport. I see the Enhanced Games as an opportunity for longevity. So I see it more as an opportunity for those people at the back end of their careers who have done the Olympics, they've done the World Champs, they've done the Commonwealth Games. This is the next progression to continue your career. As fans, is almost a more exciting prospect. How many of us would love to see Ian Thorpe race one more time or Matt Shervington run one more time? This is an opportunity to create an entire race of past heroes and legends of the sport who get to have one more shot at glory and potentially race faster than they ever have in their lives. My hope for these games is people sit back and watch this whole process. And at the end of it, there's a world record, there's $1 million USD, but most importantly, there's a healthy, happy athlete who's gone through this process and has has reduced their biological age as a result. Imagine if I come out the other side of this, and through testing and through openness and honesty and the whole process, I now have a biological age of 20, not 33. I've healed up some of those historic injuries. I'm happier and healthier than I've ever been. And you've now got the most exciting sporting product that people have ever seen. That's my personal goal for this whole process.